Most drivers in the UK think they understand how the point system works. Get 12 points and you lose your license. Simple. But that rule is only part of the story. The truth is, many drivers lose their license in ways that have nothing to do with reaching 12 points at all. This isn't because the system is unfair or because the rules are hidden. The reason the system actually works is much more detailed than most people realize. And those details shape outcomes far more than people expect. Points are added to your license when you're convicted of certain driving offences. This includes speeding, using a phone while driving, driving without insurance, or driving carelessly. Each offence carries a fixed number of points that range between 3 and 6, and those points become part of your official driving record. From that moment on, your driving history begins to influence every future decision made about you, not just in court, but in insurance, employment, and long-term access to driving. And this is where the system begins to quietly shape what happens next. One of the first things many drivers misunderstand is how long points really stay with them. In most cases, points remain on your record for 4 years. For the first 3 years, they are considered active, which means they count towards the risk of disqualification. After 3 years, they no longer count towards a ban, but they don't disappear. They remain visible for another year, and often much longer from an insurance perspective. This creates 2 different timelines running side by side. Legally, you may no longer be at risk of losing your license. Financially, the consequences may still be building. And this is often the point where drivers begin to realize that points cost far more than the original fine ever suggested. Now let's talk about bans, because this is where the system becomes very different from what most people expect. The rule everyone knows is the totting up rule. If you gain 12 points within a 3-year period, the court will usually disqualify you. For most drivers, this means a 6-month ban, and longer if it happens again. This part of the system exists to deal with repeated offences over time, and it works in a structured way. However, this isn't the only way to disqualification. For many drivers, it isn't the path that ultimately leads to losing their license. In some situations, a driver can lose their license after a single offence. If the court decides that the offence was serious enough, they can enforce a disqualification immediately. This usually happens in cases involving very high speeds, dangerous driving, or careless driving that creates a clear danger and risk to others. In these situations, the court does not need to consider your previous points total at all. The decision is based entirely on the seriousness of that one incident and the level of danger involved. Many drivers got to court expecting points and a fine, only to leave having lost their license. It often comes as a surprise, because people assume bans only happen gradually. In reality, they can happen in a single hearing. There is also a separate system that applies only to new drivers, and it is one of the strictest parts of the entire structure. If you are within your first 2 years of passing your test, the threshold is not 12 points. It is 6. 6 points within those first 2 years, and your license is revoked automatically. Not suspended, but revoked, which means you are no longer legally qualified to drive. You go back to provisional status, you apply for a new provisional license, and you must pass both your theory and practical tests again before you can drive independently. This rule exists because statistically, the first 2 years after passing a test carry the highest risk of accidents. The system is designed to intervene early during that period. But many new drivers are unaware of just how strict this rule is and how quickly the consequences can arrive. Now let's look at what happens as points begin to accumulate. Points are not assessed in isolation. Each new offence is considered alongside everything already on your record. In the early stages, drivers may be offered alternatives like speed awareness courses or fixed penalties, which are designed to correct behaviour without leaving a lasting mark. These options exist to encourage improvement before a formal pattern develops. But as points build up, those alternatives gradually become less available. Not because the system is being harsh, but because repeated offences indicate a higher long-term probability of risk. At that stage, the system's focus begins to shift. Courts start to examine patterns more closely. Insurance companies adjust their risk assessments, and discretion starts to decrease. Not suddenly, but steadily, over time. This leads to one of the most common misunderstandings in UK driving. Many believe that staying under 12 points means you are safe. Legally, 12 points is the automatic threshold for disqualification. But in practice, consequences can start much earlier. Insurance companies often treat 6 points as a major turning point. At that stage, premiums often rise sharply. At higher totals, Some insurers simply decline to offer cover at all. And this creates a situation where a driver may still be legally entitled to drive, but financially unable to do so. In reality, many drivers stop driving because of insurance costs long before they ever face a formal ban. The system rarely removes licenses first. It restricts access gradually through affordability. Another important detail is how points are actually applied. Points do not only come from speed cameras. They can result from police stops, collisions, witness statements, dashcam footage, and recordings made by other road users. In recent years, the amount of driving behavior captured on video has increased dramatically. More incidents are reviewed, more evidence is submitted, and more decisions are based on recorded material rather than direct police observation. This has made enforcement more consistent, but it has also reduced the margin for interpretation. What is recorded becomes decisive, and that makes accuracy and awareness more important than ever. There is also a legal mechanism that many drivers hear about, but rarely understand properly: exceptional hardship. If a driver reaches 12 points, they can ask the court to consider whether a ban would cause exceptional hardship. This is not a loophole, and it is not automatic. It is a formal legal process. The driver must demonstrate that a ban would cause serious hardship, usually to others rather than themselves. Loss of employment affecting dependents, impact on vulnerable family members, or consequences for employees in a small business. Even then, exemptions are granted sparingly, and they can only be used once every 3 years. Many drivers assume this is a safety net, but in practice, it is rarely successful. It should never be relied upon as a strategy. What makes the point system particularly powerful is how interconnected it is. Your driving record influences your license. Your license influences your insurance. Your insurance influences your ability to work, commute, and travel. And once your profile changes, it doesn't reset quickly. Points may expire, but your driving history continues to shape how you are assessed. And that assessment follows you through renewals, applications, and quotes, long after the original offense has faded from memory. From the system's perspective, this structure exists for one reason: risk management. Repeated offenses increase statistical risk. Higher risk increases expected claims. Higher claims increase premiums. And higher premiums restrict access. The system does not focus on individual moments. It focuses on long-term probability. Patterns matter more than incidents, and history matters more than intention. This is why understanding your own position is so important. Knowing how many points you have, when they expire, which thresholds matter, and how future offences will be treated. Because the most serious danger in the point system is not recklessness. It is misunderstanding. If this video helped explain how the UK point system really works, the previous videos on the channel look at speed cameras, insurance, and how the wider driving system in the UK operates. And if you'd like more clear, practical explanations of the rules, systems, and consequences behind everyday driving, feel free to like the video and subscribe. New videos explain how the UK driving system really works.